Hey, Kimber, can you come in here for a minute? Just wanted to see if you want to go on a walk tomorrow morning before breakfast. Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Come on, don't walk away. It's not that bad. I mean, you're going for a walk, you love walks, and you're going to be kind of in a little bit of a fasted state. Little bit, not a lot. Intermittent fasting or time restricted feeding. No biggie. I know you like your breakfast, but why don't we just try it out? Come on, I'll tell you about it on the way. That's a good girl. Yo, yo, yo! What is up? Welcome back to another week of How to Health. My name is Kevin. I run liftingbalance.com, where we take aim at all things health and do it in an odd, weird, interesting, and highly sarcastic manner. This week, we explore 2 survival traits that would register as just straight OGs when it comes to the human race or humankind. If those are like even 2 different things. Not sure. We are talking about 2 staples in our million to billion years of evolution up into this very, very point right here and right now. You, me, the screen in between us, and the dogs laying sad on the floor to the left wondering what the hell we do talking and looking at screens all day. We are talking about fasting and walking. And if there's a case for spending more time mixing the 2 into our everyday life. You ready? Because I have no clue where this is about to go. Godspeed. First off, how are these 2 pretty non-relatable things so deeply ingrained in our evolutionary history? So let's start with fasting, because that's what we talk about so much on this channel. And the walking, that's actually the real exciting part. So stick around. Now the skinny here on fasting, pun always intended, as we spoke about in a plethora of other videos, all linked below, is the following. Throughout the millions of years of evolution, and throughout modern Homo sapiens, 300,000 years or so of evolution, it was pretty unlikely that we'd have any sort of structured eating protocol. Early humans ate when food was available, when they could find it. And that most likely was not every day. So what would happen? We would go through periods of feast and famine, aka no food. Sounds a little bit like fasting. So what would we do? We'd turn on a number of survival pathways to get through the nourishment drought, leveraging the biological state of ketosis, or burning fat reserves as energy, using our in-house recycling program, autophagy, and turning on several mechanisms that would protect the genome. Now fast forward to modern day, we basically have feast, and feast, and more feast. To the point where the excess feasting and the food that we're feasting on is killing us. Nice and slowly at the disease-ridden age of 79 and a half. I just took a guess at life expectancy there, but you get it. We're living a lot of our later years of life in straight morbidity, riddled with disease and not living it to the very, very fullest we possibly can. And that's why we're talking. So fasting has been with us for quite some time, and it is shown that it is longevity promoting. And we really just stopped tapping into it over the last couple of thousand years, which when you put it in perspective is just a minor tick on the evolutionary clock. As modern science is proving, there are a ton of benefits to fasting, both short-term and long-term. If you're interested in getting in the weeds a little bit, you can check out one of the several thousand, I'm kidding, probably like 50 fasting videos. I'll link the playlist below. You can check it out and get weedy. But for now, let's talk a little bit about something that we do every single day, whether we like it or not: walking. And this is a new and almost over-intuitive topic making its debut on this channel. I mean, what's there to say about it? It's walking. The first thing we start working on the second we come out of the womb. Okay, it might be the second or third, but we can all agree, it's up there. And because of that very point right there, it's probably something we should pay a little more attention to, right? It's the obvious ones that are sneaky. When you think about it, walking has been our primary mode of transportation for, I don't know, Since the fish walked out of the ocean and decided that he, or she, liked the view, running eventually became an option, a less optimal short-term one, but an option nonetheless. I mean, it wasn't until 3500 BC where we figured out the wheel conundrum and started using donkeys, horses, and camels as saddleback or carriage-based transportation. That is a full 6,000 years after early agriculture. I mean, what the hell did they do for those 6,000 years? And back then, as you could imagine, walking wasn't considered exercise. It wasn't needed. The concept of any form of physical training wasn't even a thing until 600 BC when the Greeks brought it to light. For 99.9% of evolution, walking was considered life. You had no shot if you couldn't walk. And that's the way it was. So let's pause there and fast forward to this modern day where we wear watches and rings and bracelets to remind us to get up and move our ass. Did you get your 10,000 steps today? And after that background, it's almost mind-boggling that we're having this discussion. Anyway, I hope I made you a believer that walking is a straight evolutionary OG. And in case I didn't, we have modern science that's basically reiterating the fact that it's kind of important. The science has shown that some sort of walking, as exercise, can provide potential health benefits with joint health, immune function, digestion, elevated mood, cognition, weight loss, and weight loss's close yet completely unique cousin, fat burn. I mean, seems like all the things that something evolutionary mandatory for a particular species would do, no? So the time has come. What would happen if we intuitively reunite these two key factors of our evolutionary history? In case you forgot, walking and fasting. Well, the interesting thing about walking is that this low intensity action has shown glimpses of leveraging fat stores as its primary source of fuel, rather than glucose and glycogen, and most importantly, muscle mass. And before we get too far, I want to call out that there's a lot more science that needs to be done here. And one thing that science is definitely telling us is that this is not a one-size-fits-all solution. Just like everything else in science, it depends. Fitness level, aerobic capacity and efficiency, body composition, fuel source availability, training duration, and external factors such as sleep all have a say in this game. But it's something that just gets me personally pumped up for future research to see how we can optimize our lifestyle to achieve our specific goals, and particularly optimizing health and longevity. Now, you may ask, where does the fasting come in? So let's take a look at this 2017 study published in the Journal of Nutrition that looked into how participants fared on an energy-restricted diet with and without walking. How much walking, you ask? Approximately 2.5 hours a week. I know, you can do it in your sleep. Now, since I said that, I need to pause and put in a disclaimer that that was a joke. Do not try to take up sleepwalking as a hobby. Although efficient, there is a high likelihood of death. So please walk when awake and alert. Thank you for your time and cooperation on this matter. Now, back to your regular scheduled program. Now, this 12-week randomized controlled study was more of a calorie restriction intervention rather than a fasting intervention. But from what we know from the literature, intermittent fasting and time-restricted feeding many times have mimicking effects to a calorie-restricted diet. But keep in mind, a one-for-one translation is absolutely not guaranteed. So the results showed, as you could expect, both groups, walking and non-walking, in fact lost fat and improved several biomarkers associated with cardiovascular risk. But interestingly, the moderate walking enhanced the effects of dietary intervention on both fat loss and serum insulin. Very interesting if you ask me. And this is something that I've personally applied to my lifestyle. Getting in a good late afternoon or early evening walk after my one meal a day to enhance digestion and put my body in a position to have a great night's sleep and be well rested to train and conquer the following day. And it's been working pretty well. But when it comes to actually measuring your fuel source, whether it's carbohydrates or fatty acids, it is nearly impossible to get an accurate daily reading with the consumer-based technology we have today. And the catch here is it's always changing. Like I said before, there are a lot of internal and external factors that play a role here, some of which we understand, but many others we haven't even scratched the surface. So a good rule of thumb that I like to use from the longevity guru himself, Peter Attia, to try to gauge if you are in a fat burning mode, which he often refers to as zone 2 training, is getting to the point where you are physically working hard enough to barely be able to hold a conversation. You should be able to talk, say on the phone or to someone next to you, but it should be a struggle. You shouldn't be able to not talk at all, but you shouldn't be able to talk freely and easily. It's that kind of struggle city zone. And according to a lot of the data and research that he's gathered and personal testing he's done, that's where he thinks the sweet spot is. So that's what I'm personally working off today. Walking might get you there, or it might be more of a Ron Burgundy jogging. That's all I got. I personally believe that walking is one of the key things we need to do in this everlasting journey of training for life. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the topic and any personal experiences that you'd like to share. Whoa. Looks like I'm getting a little reminder. Better go move my ass. Peace.